Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Ki Ata Hu Melech Adon Adon Lechol HaShalom V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol leit u'b'chol shah b'shlomecha Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Ki Ata Hu Melech Adon Adon Lechol HaShalom השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. Lay me down, God of peace, and raise me up to a world of living. Oh, safe from the storm, in the shelter of your shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. If I could follow you and know all of your ways and wisdom, oh, you'd keep me safe, and I'd always praise your name. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim.
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Shabbat services here at Central Synagogue. We greet all of you joining us in our sanctuary, of course, and all of you out there joining us by all those virtual means. I am Rabbi Dan Ross, joined on the bima this evening by our senior rabbi, Angela Buchdahl, by Cantor Jenna Pearsall, by Rabbi Nicole Auerbach, by Rabbi Ari Lorge, and by our president, I can see her up there, Dr. Shani Silverberg. We are so grateful, of course, to have the words of our worship lifted by our musicians both here and there. And we thank our entire events, technical operations, security staff, and the shamashim who greeted you on your way in. At this time, if you have some kind of technology that would take you out of this space, think about it. Yom Kippur is coming up, okay? So if you have some kind of technology that would take you out of the spirit of Shabbat, we invite you to please turn it off. And then, as we welcome the warmth of the Shabbat together, we invite you to greet those around you. We continue this evening with the lighting of the Shabbat candles, and to do so we invite up Julia Kruger and Isaac Kruger and Cindy and Richard Leibovich. Continue with the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat on page 13 with Psalm 96, Shiru Ladonai.
Shiru Ladonai, kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai,
with Hariyu on your order of service. Kabbalat Shabbat to a close with Lecha Dodi on page 20, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, rising on the 9th verse.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha yishme'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad v'shemo tiferet v'litchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekavela.
We continue with page 146 with Baruch Hu, our call to worship. I see some of you are already flirting with moving your bodies. This call to worship involves all of our bodies to really wake ourselves up and be present in this moment of prayer.
Ya la la la, 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 ya la la la. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la
Please be seated. We join together on the facing page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim b'mishmeratehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבי.
A reading not in your Siddur, not in your prayer book, but by Rabbis Jack Reamer and Harold Kushner that'll prepare us for Shema on page 149. There are no words more challenging than you shall be holy, no command more basic than you shall love. There is no insight so fundamental as in the beginning God created, no words so life-enhancing as you shall rest. No cry is more compelling than let my people go, and no consolation more comforting than I am with you in your distress. There is no vision more hopeful than they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and no summons more demanding than justice, justice shall you pursue. These words have outlived monuments and empires. We want them to live through us until the end of time.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta.
Sorry. It's okay. We could do that too. We were going to do an English Ve'ahavta. We're on autopilot with the Ve'ahavta.
Love, only love with all your heart. Love as you're walking through the day. Make your world a better place. Children will learn, and their future will be love, love, only love with all your heart. Love, only love with all your soul. Listen to the wisdom inside and around you. You will remember in your home and on your way. Make your life a voice for God. Be a sculptor for the holy. Be a doorway for love, love, only love with all your heart. Love, only love with all your soul. Listen to the wisdom inside and around you. You will remember. You will remember. You will remember.
Page 152, Mi Chamocha, our Song of Freedom.
Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot, o sefer lev. Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot, o sefer lev. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Malechutecha, ra'avanecha, bokei hayam, lifnei Moshe uMiriam, ze'elianu, anu ve'ameru. Adonai imnoch le'olam va'ed. Who is like you? Adonai, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai.
On page 153, Hashkivenu.
השכיבנו, השכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום. השכיבנו, השכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו לשלום. והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים ולשלום, ולשלום.
Tefillah begins on page 155, 155, and I'll invite you to rise.
Adonai sfatai tiftach, Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sfatai tiftach, Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, וחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue now silently, either using the words of the Siddur through page 167 or time for personal prayer and meditation. You may remain standing or be seated.
יחיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי יחיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי
We began our Shabbat service with Achat Sha'alti, which is taken from Psalm 27, the psalm that is customary to read during the month of Elul, these preparatory months, the preparatory month leading up to the high holidays. And that psalm, authored by King David, takes us on a bit of a journey from almost a surefire confidence that God is with him, and then he's tested, and he feels God has abandoned him, and he cries out, "Don't hide your face from me." And in the end, he comes back to understanding that he will be strong and of good courage, and will be able to be in God's house. This is a journey that anyone who has come through illness probably recognizes, and is maybe at some stage of that journey, life was good, you had your assurances, and then you're tested, and the diagnosis comes, and weeks or months of illness or longer, and you feel, I don't know if I can go through this. You cry out, "Where are you, God? Don't hide your face from me." It's a journey that's familiar, and in this psalm, we get to a place of assurance. But even if you're not quite there, if you are struggling with illness, we end with "Be strong and of good courage." And we say that with each other because we will strengthen each other and give each other courage. So this psalm is also appropriate for this moment because even if you are not feeling ill in physical spirit, this season causes us to really look at what's broken around us. And so let us all be strong and of good courage to seek God's face in these dark times. I add the names of people from our community we are thinking of that are in special need of a prayer for healing: Ann Gresser, Carrie Miller, Candace Smilo, Bill Smith. And I invite you to share names out loud or in your heart of those who might be in need of a prayer of healing now. We pray, God, to be with us as we pray these words from Psalm 27.
Don't hide your face from me. I'm asking for your help. I call to you, please hear my prayers, oh God. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please heal me now. Don't hide your face from me. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please heal me now. Don't hide your face from me. Please heal me now. Don't hide your face from me.
Because we know how hard it is to be in that place of aloneness, we are particularly aware of the blessings when we feel surrounded by joy and love. Perhaps it's your own joy, big or small. Perhaps it's just feeling some of the reflected joy around us in the community of things that should be celebrated. So if you are becoming bar mitzvah tomorrow, Ezra and Andrew, I don't know if you're here but not in the front row, we invite you to rise with your loved ones as we celebrate you taking your place in our Jewish community. Mazel tov. If perhaps it's your birthday, oh, there you are, great. Perhaps it's your birthday or anniversary this week. I know someone watching is turning 80 tomorrow. We've got wonderful milestones. Please rise, let us celebrate with you. Perhaps you joined the Jewish people this week, and we are so grateful that you have done that. We invite you to rise and let us celebrate you. Mazel tov, mazel tov. And if you had maybe a new baby or you're celebrating a naming of a baby, we invite you to please rise. If you had a wedding recently of someone in your family that you love, or maybe you attended a wedding, there's been a lot of weddings recently, and you wanted to celebrate that, please rise. If you were amazed by this story that hit this week, that Yvon Chouinard, I'm sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong, the 83-year-old founder of Patagonia, just decided to transfer the ownership of his entire multi-billion-dollar company to a trust to fight climate change. And he shared it in a newsletter entitled, "Earth is now our only shareholder." If you're amazed by that, I invite you to rise. I was. If you're enjoying beautiful fall weather and the last gasp of green before the leaves start to turn, if you're just grateful for something in your heart that you name, or just being here for Shabbat, I invite you to rise and let us offer this gratitude together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
We now stay standing and continue in our joy by calling up Emma Shorenstein to receive her Hebrew name, as well as her parents. You can bring them to Brett and Rachel and her brother Graham. You're so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen a more beautiful family? Oh my goodness. So well behaved. You're just in awe of everything. Oh, Emma, we are so honored to get to bless you and give you your Hebrew name on the bima of the synagogue in which your dad grew up and where his Jewish journey began. And we are so thrilled that yours is beginning on this bima as well. You entered this world on June 3rd, 2021, not without some bumps along the way and giving your parents a bit of a fright. As your mom said, she actually knew too much. Yeah. Yes, you know it too. She actually knew too much during her birth experience, since she herself is a pediatrician. And after hearing your heartbeat tracing and realized something was just a little bit off, she told her doctor, "You think you should probably call the NICU?" The doctor responded, "Actually, you know what? Yes, I do." Thankfully, you were born perfectly healthy and beautiful, just as your parents had dreamed. Your parents describe you with such love in their eyes, saying your curiosity and sweetness are evident every day, as well as a hint of troublemaking, always keeping things interesting. I'm delighted to share that they have chosen the name Miri for you, which comes from the name Miriam. Miriam is Moses' sister, always exemplifying bravery, leadership, and courage throughout the Torah as she navigates caring for her younger brother and leading the Israelites across the sea during their exodus from Egypt. Yeah, she's like, that's a great name. We hope that with this name comes many of the characteristics of the fearless leader Miriam was, and we can also hope that the strong bond between brother and sister within the Torah will also be reflected in your relationship with your brother Graham. Graham, how do you feel about Emma?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she changed things up.
Brett and Rachel, you picked this name in memory of three of your grandparents whose names all happen to start with the letter M. That's very lucky. This name honors Rachel's grandpa Miles, who you described as extremely giving. Oh no, you okay? Who who you describe as extremely giving, caring, altruistic, and a person that walked into a room with a large presence, always making people smile and laugh. Brett, you remember your grandpa Maurice, a judge who found every way to support the Jewish people throughout World War II, who you describe as intelligent and full of advice. You also remember your grandma Muriel, who you describe as having been extremely sweet and loving, and it seems Emma has already adopted those defining traits in her first year of life. I know.
It's a big
it's
name
a
to
lot
live
of
up to.
people. Emma, your parents hope that as you grow, that you will first and foremost be kind and caring, that you will think of others, and that you will be happy. We hope you will wear the name Miri, Bat Binyamin, Verachel with pride as you grow. We now, as a community, will bless you as you have your first simcha on this bima, hopefully the first of many. Oh my goodness. Hopefully I don't scare her with my singing. Yeah?
יברכך אדוני וישמרך
May God bless you and keep you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך כן יהי רצון.
May God's light shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום, כן יהי רצון.
May you always feel God's love, and may it always bring you peace. And let us say, Amen. And we stay standing as we take out our Torahs for our Torah service.
la 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 la
Tomorrow night, we will observe Slichot, a late night service that serves as an overture to the High Holy Days. For the first time this year, we will open the Ark to see our Torah scrolls dressed in white. We will rise for Avinu Malkeinu. We will confess. The blast of the shofar will ring in our ears and open our hearts. If we haven't felt the awe of this season sneaking up on us yet, the drama of this service grabs us by the lapels and calls us to attention. This mounting drama is echoed in this week's Torah portion, Ki Tavo. The Israelites are on the precipice of entering the Promised Land, a land that Moses knows he cannot enter. In a last-ditch effort to exert some control over the future of his people, Moses exhorts the Israelites to follow God's path, laying out the blessings that will follow if they do, and the many, many curses that will befall them if they do not. These curses are vivid and horrifying. We're not just talking the usual plagues and locusts. We're used to being threatened with plagues and locusts. We're talking about people resorting to eating their own children. And after all these nightmarish visions, Moses warns, "In the morning you shall say, if only it were evening, and in the evening you shall say, if only it were morning, because of what your heart shall dread and your eyes shall see." One way to understand this verse is as a coda to the curses that have preceded it, a description of the emotional repercussions of suffering. Instead, I think we can understand it as a curse in and of itself. To spend the morning wishing it were evening and the evening wishing it were morning is to live in an impotent state of restless dissatisfaction with the state of the world from which it feels like there is no escape. To live this way denies both God's power and our own. Our Ma'ariv Aravim prayer, which we just prayed together, reminds us that God controls the cycles of day and night. And while it is reassuring to know that after every period of darkness the sun will rise, it is folly to wish it will happen at a time of our choosing. There are many things outside our control. To spend our lives wishing them away is a recipe for disappointment. Recently, I had occasion to rewatch the 1987 cinematic masterpiece, Dirty Dancing. If you're wondering how far rabbis will go to procrastinate during the run-up to the high holidays, that is exactly how far. At one point, Patrick Swayze is teaching Jennifer Grey how to dance the merengue. She is not so good at it. She's loosey-goosey in a dance that depends on structure and boundaries. At one point, exasperated, he explains, "This is my dance space. This is your dance space. I don't go into yours, and you don't go into mine. You need to hold the frame." The High Holy Days are all about reminding us what is in God's dance space and what is in our own. Who shall live and who shall die? God's dance space. Making amends, calling ourselves to account, caring for one another, that's in ours. In our Slichot service, this division comes into stark relief through a juxtaposition of two prayers. The first, Ki hine kachomer, imagines us as clay in God's hands, ultimately vulnerable and at the mercy of the source of creation. In it, we relinquish our illusion of control and hand it back to God. And right after that, we move to our vidui, our communal confession, where we acknowledge how much of what plagues us is actually our own doing. That prayer reminds us we have the ability to change. It's when we forget one of these things, either our power or its limits, that we end up feeling cursed, living in a world where we are convinced that things would be different if only. If only it were morning or evening. If only we had different parents or a different body. If only we lived in a different country or had a different major in college or were a morning person or actually liked salad. Though dressed up as a wish, if only is the opposite of hope. It robs us of our agency, leaving us to wait for things beyond our control to change before we decide we can change ourselves. Only once we stop saying, if only, can we say, now what? Tomorrow night, we will hear the first strains of the harp and organ, inviting us to begin our yearly dance with God. May this year bring many blessings, morning, noon, and night. And as we search our souls, may we have the wisdom to recognize what is in God's dance space and what is in our own, allowing ourselves the freedom to move and to change while knowing that we are held in a divine embrace. Shabbat Shalom.
Wow, what a sermon to get us prepared for the high holidays. Thank you, Rabbi. It's my honor to call up for the Aliyah Rabbi Alvin Kass, who is joining us tonight. He not only has been a congregational rabbi in Brooklyn, but he has served as the chaplain of the NYPD for 56 years, 22 of them as the chief chaplain of the NYPD. We honor your service and are honored to have you with us.
We are reading from Parshat Kitavo, Deuteronomy 26, lines 1 through 4.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Vaed.
Melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. V'haya kitavo el haaretz asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha nachala v'rishta v'yashavta ba v'lakachta mereshit kol peri hadama asher tavi martzecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach v'samta batene v'halachta el hamakom asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha l'shaken shemo sham uvata el hakohin asher yihye bayamim hahem ve'amarta elav higadeti hayom l'Adonai Elohecha kivati el haaretz asher nishba Adonai lavotenu latet lanu v'lakach hakohin hatene miadecha v'hinicho lifnei mizbach Adonai Elohecha.
Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch ata Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Rabbi, as you know, an aliyah is the highest honor we can give anyone in our community, but you truly honor us by being here tonight. Thank you. Please rise. Continue with Aleinu in the middle of page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה יוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. I'll invite up our yahrzeit candlelighters, Meryl and Jim Tish. Members of Meryl's family.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמרמה.
Try to remember some details by Yehuda Amichai. Try to remember some details. Remember the clothing of the one you love, so that on the day of loss you'll be able to say, last seen wearing such and such, brown jacket, white hat. Try to remember some details, for they have no face, and their soul is hidden, and their crying is the same as their laughter, and their silence and their shouting rise to one height, and their body temperature is between 98 and 104 degrees, and they have no life outside this narrow space, and they have no graven image, no likeness, no memory, Try to remember some details, for the world is filled with people who were torn from their sleep with no one to mend the tear. And unlike wild beasts, they live each in his lonely hiding place, and they die together on battlefields and in hospitals. And the earth will swallow all of them, good and evil together, like the followers of Korach, all of them in their rebellion against death. Their mouths open till the last moment, praising and cursing in a single howl. Try to remember some details. Our Central Synagogue community remembers those whom death has taken in recent weeks: Stephen Berg, Neil Berman, Ernest Biederman, Howard Fisher, Irving Friedman, Morton Hertzmark, Sonia Levine-Kamsky, Rabbi Jimmy Kessler, Herbert Levittown, Noah Nyman, Linda Newman, Sherman Vogel, Joan Wackler, Nathaniel Wiesel, Harvey Wilkes, and our longtime scholar-in-residence, Rabbi Philip Hyatt. We also name those whose yahrzeits occur at this season: Bella Apper, Seymour Aronson, Vivian Auerbach, Stephen Barron, Herbert Beinstock, Ellen Budessa, Lillian Berg, Lynette Cohen, Gerald Cole, Henry Disman, Nathan Dreisen, Sylvia Dudowski, Eugene Fisher, Elliot Fishman, Evelyn Fox, Douglas Gardner, Joseph Gluck, Hyman Golden, Pearl Goldstein, Emmy Gordon, Beverly Green, Liebert Greenberg, Rhoda Bernstein Harlem, Scott Hayes, Alvin Hertzberg, Gertrude Heyman, Adele Schwetz Hall, Rita Immergut, Stanley Isaacson, Deborah Jacobson, Joanne Joseph, Father Michal Judge, Paul Katz, Irving Kivitz, Thomas Kolb, Vladimir Kopek, Perry Koplik, Sidel Jaffe Krinsky, Morris Lefkowitz, Bernard Lichtenstein, Belle Lindenbaum, Frank Lipp, Arlene Lovenworth, Marianne Lutke, Lorraine Lundy, Arnold McGinnis, Ruth Monter, Celia Morris, Abraham Nathan, Perry Neidich, Sandra Orfinger, George Plotkin, Elliot Raderman, Charlotte Rand, Samuel Resnick, Simon Roman Goldstein, Michael Rosenbluth, Alice Rosen, Harriet Safir, Kirk Schloss, Joyce Schultz, Henry Sr., Anthony Sorrento, Erwin Sharkey, Esther Steinman, A. Martin Stuchiner, Beverly Thaler, Hildegard Topper, Miriam Wasser, and the names that you might be adding in this moment of loss. If you were in the period of Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning a loss, we invite you to rise so our community may acknowledge you as mourners. If you were in the first 30 days of mourning a loved one, I invite you to rise so we may acknowledge you as mourners. If you're in the first year of mourning a loved one, we invite you to rise. If you're observing a yahrzeit of a loved one this evening, we invite you to rise. May the memories of your loved one be an abiding blessing. We rise with you now as one community of fellowship and comfort, joining in the words of Kadisha Tome on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'lolmei almaya, yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitchaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudashah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom. I am not a confirmation student, but we are going to have them up here soon. It's so great to feel such a full sanctuary, to be in anticipation of a new year soon where we'll really fill our worship spaces together. We're so glad that all of you who are joining us virtually as well are with us. Following services, we have an ice cream truck tonight. We hope you'll join us outside for a little oneg. It's a beautiful night. And tomorrow night, as Rabbi Auerbach said, we begin Slichot, really the kickoff spiritually for the holidays. There is a program, a wonderful program, that includes that tzedek box that those of you who are members received in the mail. That starts at 8 p.m., and then we will have a worship service for Slichot at 9:15. It's like the greatest hits of the holidays all in one night. We hope you'll join. It's beautiful. And there, of course, all information about High Holidays for our members are on our website, and for those of you who are live streaming, the schedule is also on the website. I want to say Mazel Tov to our B'nai Mitzvah Ezra and Andrew. If you'll come up and join us on the Bima to help us lead Kiddush and Motzi, that'd be awesome. And I saw a few other kids when we were walking. Anyone else who's kind of around the age of Bar Mitzvah or under, we'd love to have you up here. It makes us feel joyful to see you. Thank you, Andrew. And we hope that you will join us in Kiddush and then join us across the street for Oneg. And it's on page 5. Ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
And we bless this beautiful challah together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
So please join us in closing out this beautiful Shabbat. Page 321, Adon Olam.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem ko yitzir nivra li'ed nasa b'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nigya ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yiboch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hove ve'hu Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.